Next up, it's the Minnesota Vikings. They were 8-9 in 2021. Their passing leader, Kirk Cousins, 4,221 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was the QB 11. Rushing leader, Alvin Cook, 1,159 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, the RB 16. And your receiving leader, no surprise, Justin Jefferson, 108 catches, 1,616 yards, 10 receiving touchdowns, the wide receiver 4. That means it's time for Going Strong, presented by Castrol Edge. And let's look back at Kirk Cousins, because last year I mentioned he was the QB 11. Always seems to be hanging around that fringe QB 1. 10, 11, 12 seems to be where he finishes pretty much every year. Being drafted right now as the QB 15, is there a world in which he's maybe undervalued?
Yes, I think so, because you talk about how he's always the QB1. Since he became a starter in 2015, he's been a top 12 quarterback all but 1 year. His 1 year, he was the QB 15. So I think you can make an argument that we are drafting him at his floor. The only thing, I'm fine with him going there. That's actually where I have him ranked, because I do think there's quarterbacks that he could finish ahead of, but that have more upside. So Cousins is never going to be the guy that wins you your league, so I don't pull him up the draft, but he's definitely undervalued, someone that I think you can get as a really strong quarterback too, or if you wait on quarterback, you could pair him with one of the young upside quarterbacks like a Tua or a Lawrence or something like that.
He could be the quarterback of the all-oatmeal team, right? Because there's nothing exciting about him, right? He doesn't run for a ton of yards. He's not uber efficient. He's not like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady efficient. He doesn't make spectacular throws like Patrick Mahomes. He's fine, right? But he's consistent. He produces. He's just not exciting. And so I think that's the reason we're always looking for upside. Kirk Cousins just kind of is. I think that's kind of the best way to describe it. He just is. So I think 15 sort of makes sense. But you're right. We'll do all this, and at the end of the year, he'll be like QB 12, and we'll be like, yeah, he's solid every single year. That's sort of how it goes. Of Justin Jefferson, but there's been a lot of glowing reviews of Adam Thielen throughout training camp in the preseason, saying he looks like the guy that we saw maybe a few years ago. Always seems to get double-digit touchdowns, no matter how much we talk about regression. When you look at Adam Thielen, what is your ceiling for him this year?
So I'm much more comfortable about having him as a wide receiver 3, which is exactly where I have him ranked. And the thing is, you're kind of drafting him at his ceiling, I feel like. So I don't really have a lot of Adam Thielen, because the yardage has gone down each of the last couple of years. He hasn't been a 1,000-yard guy. Touchdowns have been keeping him afloat. But Marcus, you talk about it all the time, how touchdowns are fickle beasts.
Fickle beasts.
And they're hard to trust. So I typically tend to go with a younger, higher upside receiver in that range of the draft.
I've drafted Thielen a couple times, but it has been no more than a wide receiver 3, just because of that potential regression. Like, at some point, you got to feel like it's going to happen, right? So I would much rather draft him closer to his floor than his ceiling, and so for that reason, I've got him as wide receiver 3. I do think, if things turn out right, if Kevin O'Connell juices this off the way people think he can, then maybe that does get him in that wide receiver 2 range, but I think that's the absolute ceiling. That is, as you mentioned, if everything works right for Adam Thielen. All right, Vikings, first player drafted, your Vikings sleeper, and your Vikings player to avoid.
First player drafted, Alvin Cook. He's a first-round pick. Sleeper, I still think Irv Smith Jr. is a big sleeper. In the small sample size without college 2 years ago, he was putting up numbers that would have made him a top 5 tight end last year. But the issue was whenever Kyle Rudolph played, they split time. And then in a role that I think was built for Irv Smith last year, Tyler Conklin went out and saw almost 90 targets. And then you talk about this year, the upgrade in the play system. I think this passing game could reach new heights. So give me Irv Smith Jr. I have him as a top 12 tight end. And the player to avoid, we just spoke about him, but for me, it's Adam Thielen, because he's 32 years old, more than just being a wide receiver 2 upside.
So I'm going to go, obviously, Dalvin Cook's the number 1 player off the board for the Vikings. I mean, this is a guy who's going top 5 probably in a lot of leagues, so there's no doubt there. I do like Irv Smith as a sleeper. I'll also pivot to maybe KJ Osborne as kind of a deep sleeper in that offense. I mean, you know me, I am a Van Jefferson stan, have been for years, and so maybe he sort of can take over that Van Jefferson role a little bit in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell there, so I'll give him some deep sleeper love. Player to avoid. Yeah, I think Adam Thielen's probably the guy. I haven't. Like I said, I've drafted him a couple of times. But it's one of those, you pick him, you're not excited about it. You don't feel great.
I just realized one thing. I think we amend my answer to Justin Jefferson. I just realized I was like,
yeah.
But two first round picks from one team. That's
pretty amazing.
That's
right?
That's uncommon.
Yes, where'd I go? I think I'm gonna stay with Dalvin, but Justin Jefferson. We did kind of gloss over. I don't know how we did that, right?